Alright, so for my food journal, we're just gonna go and decorate week of the 11th. Where's my... I didn't thought, I didn't think I put it back, but apparently I didn't. Here we go. So what I did, so this is from today's the 31st. So as you can tell, I did start filling out some of the numbers. So taking a look at those. And still, it's just weird because I'm looking at some of the stuff and I'm like, y'all always say a serving size is this and that and everything, but then when we're looking at it, it's like, what in the world? So I was gonna get rid of that. And no carbs or fat. So by the time I'm end up going home next week because I have a car appointment, so I'm end up picking up some of my stickers. So I'm not gonna. Okay, that's not mine. I'm not going to pick up any. Well, I'm not gonna write anything in until I get my stickers. So I'm gonna say something. But I am in my housing. It is decent housing. I cannot cook. The the outlets in this house, in this room, are not good. I have an air fryer and a blender, so I gotta do my protein shakes in the morning, and it only holds 7 amps, so I had to keep resetting the freaking outlet so I can actually use it, and it's not conducive at all. So I was telling my mom that, so at least once a week I'm gonna end up going back home. You know, it's just a 3 hour, anywhere between a 3 and a 4 hour drive depending on traffic, just to get to the house and just to cook some meals so I can actually have something that I don't think I have to do is heat up. I do have a refrigerator in here. It's a little bit larger than some of the other refrigerators that you would normally see in a room. So I can, at least, you know, right now I have waters, I have poppy soda instead of regular soda. I have the probiotic sodas. I have fruits in there. I do have some snacks. Of course, I had to get my Doritos, but then I got my popcorn, and I got some caramel. No, some apple straws. It's kind of like the veggie straws, but they're apple. I got those at Aldi's, and I'm really, really curious about that. I got my blueberry crunch. I got some breakfast muffins, my bread, just some deli meat. I have a whole bunch of, like, my bananas and everything, and my milk, so I did end up making my banana smoothie for work, and oh, that's been so long, that sucker tasted good. I forgot how, it was a protein smoothie, so I had some Slim Fast protein powder that I used, so I did that one. Let me get some of my stuff out the way. So I used that. I was still able to make my lunch, and I made my breakfast. So that way, because what I didn't realize is that at work, on the weekends, not even just the weekends, but on the weekends, the hospital at work is not open. I don't know why, but they just do not open the hospital cafeteria on the weekends. So if you don't bring nothing to eat, you just SOL or you got to order out. And the only thing to order around here, I believe, is Dairy Queen, which is just bogus. Honestly, it just don't make no sense that y'all have nowhere for your employees to eat. I'm just, you know, some hospitals care. Some hospitals care, some hospitals don't. And it's obvious that the one I'm at really don't give a damn if you have something to eat or not. They could care less. So there's that going on. And then on the weekdays, the cafeteria closes at 2 o'clock. So while they'll feed the patients, they will not feed you. So again, you have to make sure. So now it makes sense why I see when people who are working, because we either work 8s, 10s, or 12s at my job. So now it makes sense that the people who are working 12-hour shifts, I wondered why they're always bringing in so much food. Well, now I see why. Because you can't go down to the cafeteria, especially if we get busy. You can't stop and then go get something to eat. Not in a lab, not as short staff as we are. So now I see why they bring such large lunch bags. So sometimes these hospitals don't care. They don't even care about their employees. Like, you want me to help a patient, but if I pass out because I can't get enough food, I'm gonna be lying right next to the patient. Then again, it's another small hospital that want people that need travelers because nobody wants to work there. And I keep hearing whisperings of if they close the hospital, then what then? And I'm like, these places are always buying these small hospitals, stripping them of everything, taking as much money as they can, and then next thing you know, they're closing the hospital. And I just don't understand how they keep allowing that to happen. You know, but this holiday weekend, it was very interesting. Everybody was having heart attacks. And I'm like, man, y'all must have did a number on y'all in-laws, because why y'all send everybody to the hospital? You know, the holidays is the most. It's not good for everybody. A lot of people have lost people during the holidays. You know, so it could be a tough time for people, and that must have been how it was, because it was rough. It was honestly rough. A lot of people were very, very sick. And normally around this time of year, I know that people are going to be in the hospital, for, a long time. Well, not a long time, but I know that people are going to come into the hospital. And the main reason is because they just was able to pay off their deductible. Some of these deductibles are just ignorant, extremely ignorant. So they weren't able, up until then, they weren't able to come and get a checkup, They had to pay that freaking $9,000 deductible just in order to be seen. And with everything going on now, these deductibles are just getting worse. I seen somebody who has like a $9,000 deductible before they still have to pay the $2,000. It's trifling. I'm pretty sure my deductible is about to go up too. But what can we do? We tried to help people out, but everybody was thinking about themselves, and they just didn't give a rat's ass. So now everybody's screwed. But if I didn't need insurance, I would not have insurance. But don't you still get penalized if you don't have insurance? I can't remember, but I think you still get penalized if you don't have insurance, which is another thing. Like, I could sign up for the VA insurance, but last time I tried to sign up for VA, it was during a time in DC where they found out that they were throwing out the veterans, the applications. Remember, they was throwing them in the trash and setting them on fire? Yeah, that's the time when I was putting in my paperwork to get seen at the VA before I started working. Which is just disgusting, to say the least. Just very, very disgusting. So, again, it is what it is. So, like I said, this is the week of the 11th. However, today's New Year's Eve. So, I'm way ahead because I want to try to keep everything situated. But normally, my meal plan stays the same. So, I do have ButcherBox, and I did place an order for meat. I get the large box, so I think I ordered salmon, scallops, shrimp, cod, ground turkey, ground bison, which I've had before, I think in California, and it was really good and really lean. I got some baby back ribs. What else did I get? Oh, flank steak and steak tips when I'm like making stir fry, because I eat red meat, but not a lot. I normally do the chicken and turkey And especially, oh, I can eat shrimp every day, but I ain't trying to get iodine poisoning. But so I do have that. So that's like a box coming the beginning of January. So when I find out when I'm going up to DC, Ma's gonna make some food for me and bring it back so I could have a refrigerator full of healthy options as opposed to going and buying lean cuisine. I mean, it's okay if I get lean cuisine and some more frozen options, but not to eat all day for the whole time I'm here because the sodium adds up. And sometimes you just want something fresh. You don't always want something processed. I just don't have that option at the planning because if I go, they don't have an extended stay. So there's no place around here where I can actually cook a meal. And then a place if I want to rent somewhere, I think it's like 2,000 a month. I'm trying to save money. I got rid of my apartment. My apartment was 2,300 a month, and I'm not trying to still pay 2,000 a month. Where I'm at now, I only pay a few hundred a week, which is still, I think it's like 500 less, or maybe, let's see. Actually, it's 600 less. So I pay roughly 1,400 a month where I'm at as opposed to the 2,000. So I'm still saving money that's going somewhere else. I'm just trying to save as much money as I can, eat healthy, exercise, but that's the one thing about traveling. It's your options for housing are limited and expensive. Or I could have rent a room in somebody's house and what I was looking at, they wanted 1,800 for a room. I don't know you people. I'm a woman. You can't. The world isn't kind to us nowadays, so it's very iffy. Like I prefer staying in hotels. You know, I have to look at the weather of where I'm at, how it is when I get like if the weather gets bad, how far I am from my hospital, can I make it to work? Where do I have to drive and where I would stay. If the weather turns bad, I'm gonna have a hard time getting here because I'm on a 2-lane road and there's no pull off. You can fly out in a ditch and you get no reception. So I have to take a look at all that for safety. So this was the best option. I'm actually only 6 minutes from my hospital. And the guy that owns this place, his wife is a nurse at the hospital. So I feel safe. I do not let my guard down though. Forget that. Trust me. I'm safe. But somebody else may not be. They try to mess with me. So I keep all that stuff situated. But all that good stuff. But I always have stuff that I get every week. So I definitely get milk because I use that to make my protein shakes. Because I used to buy them, but I only got $30 for 12, and I can do 2 a day, and that's a lot of money. When I said I could just get one, I get protein powder for $30, and that'll last me the whole month. So I do milk, and I always do regular milk and chocolate milk. And regular milk, I mean Fairlife. Fairlife, doesn't hurt my stomach, so I do Fairlife. Or I think Aldi's even has a version of Fairlife that I do there. So I do milk, I do fruit, I do fresh and frozen and canned fruit, veggies, I do frozen and fresh, and pre-made salads. Only if they look good. I didn't get any pre-made salads last time I went to Food Line because they didn't look right. And then they was like $6 for a small one. I'm not paying for that. You lost your mind. Like, I make the money, but I ain't trying to spend it on food because the grocery people want to be greedy and just up the prices. So I got milk, fruit, veggies, deli meat because I like to make sandwiches when I go to work, bread. I do bagels for breakfast. I have regular sandwich bread, and then probably some sub bread because I can make an actual sub. With the lettuce, the tomatoes, the pickles, and the green peppers. Yes. So I do that one. Water. I need sparkling. And sometimes they just have plain regular flavored water and regular. Like I got black water, which is really good. It's BLK and it's literally black, and it had the strawberry rhubarb. That was really really good. If I get juice, again it'll be apple, cranberry, orange, Yeah. If I get soda, most likely it's going to be Poppy or Olipop. I'm trying to get away from drinking regular sodas because it's not good. Poppy, because they're probiotic, you only want to drink one or two. You drink more than that, don't go nowhere for the day. I'm just going to let you know. So I'll have that soda, that Poppy. I do energy drinks, which normally is the V8 Bloom or the Alani. Those seems to be the only ones that I know because the V8 is more B vitamins, and so is Alani and Bloom. They don't bother me. By me being a heart patient, I try to make sure, kind of be careful. I know before I became an actual heart patient, I had 1 Celsius. It was fine, but I felt weird. I'm like, no, I'm good. I never had that again. I think that was like 2 years ago. And then I tried a Bloom, and I felt energized, but nothing. I didn't feel bad for my heart, and I was reading it, but I still had to do some more research. I don't do energy drinks all day. Like I brought 2 energy drinks, and I had one. The other one's probably going to be in my fridge for like another week or two. I don't need energy like that. Only for some days that I'm like dragging and everything would I do an energy drink like that. But for the most part, I don't like, you won't catch me buy a case of them. I buy them singly because I don't drink them that much. So, but I do have that. Um, Frozen, that'd be pizza, fries. You know what? The nuggets I'll order them from Butcher Box because I used to do the Impossible nuggets, but them things like almost $10 now, and I'm not paying that much money for that. You're lost your mind. Healthy and lean. You're crazy. I'm not paying all that money for that, and it wasn't that much expensive. But see what happens when they do too much? They start dogging you out. When it comes to because I still have a protein powder, so I'm good on that. I have peanut butter, I have strawberry preserves. I gotta get the fruit. I'm still gonna have chips because, like, I have this big old thing of family Chips Ahoy. It's been like a week and I still have them. I don't. I'll buy it, but I don't eat it like I used to, which I think is pretty good. Now, coffee cake. Now, I'll have a coffee cake every day, especially if I'm working every day. Yeah, the coffee cakes I got specifically for work, and they're just in like the square single ones. So I do that, and then I do have the muffins. Either I'll do a blueberry muffin, a chocolate chip muffin, or the banana nut muffins, and I'll take that to work. And that's why, yeah, breakfast food. Like any sausage, scrapple. I have to. I'll have to buy that at home, cook it, and then bring it with me. Scrapple and bacon, same thing. Eggs. I am not a yogurt person. I try, and I try. I just can't. I'll buy them, and it'll just sit there, and next thing you know, 3 months later, it's still there. I'll be trying, and I don't know what it is, but I just don't have a taste for yogurt anymore. But eggs, because I do have like well, actually, the eggs, I'm going to have to just boil those because, again, I can't use the toaster oven. I can't use my air fryer. I could barely use my blender, even though I'm going to keep the blender. And I'm pretty sure I could plug it in somewhere else, but I can't. I just can't use it because this place doesn't have a lot of outlets. And then it's just, it is what it is. I think that's it. And then again, I'm gonna have my meal plan, my meal prep. So meal plan is the food I want to make. Meal prep is the food I actually made. And that is going to be it. Everything else, I'll have my I'll fill in once I get my stickers. But yeah, this is just for the week of the 11th to the 17th. January 11th through the 17th. And that is it. Oh, that's right. It only got 3 because why do I have 2? So this is for January. I don't need December. December's over with. This is December. That's for that one. And then this is supposed to be, actually it's supposed to be back here for my notes. Because what I need to do is I need to write down the foods that I eat a lot, well not eat a lot of, but I have like the information on. Like, what is it? That was the singer. No, didn't I just regularly do that? Yeah, like the kettle salt vinegar chips, I still have those. My blackberries, the grapes, the banana protein smoothie, and stuff like that. So I can put this back here. So I just need to write it down. Because I typically tend to eat the same food all over and over. I rarely deviate and try something new. So I either write down what it is or I cut the nutrition part off of the packaging and I tape it in my journal and then I can just go ahead and flip back to it. Because the regular milk they tell you is 8 proteins. But the milk that I drink gives me 13 grams of protein. So that makes a difference when I need to figure out how much protein I need to have. So that's what I end up doing. Most likely I'll cut it out and just put it here unless I accidentally always threw it out. But I'm going to just put it here. So, but that is enough for that week, and I will see you later.